If you're waiting until you have enough money or more time or less stress in your hands to start to build the future that you desire, you are going to die broke. There is no better time and there is no perfect time that you can begin to invest in what you want to invest in and begin to build with your own hands the future you want to build. I started clawing my way out of debt and building my business while working a full-time job with a wife, with kids. And if I waited at the end of the day for the perfect time to begin to do everything that I'm doing now, I'd still be drowning. I'd still be in the same situation I was in before, and I wouldn't be growing in a personal level and in a financial level with everything that I have been able to do with my business. Again, the perfect time to begin to work on the things that you have been dreaming to get done is now. Why would you wait for later when you can begin to do now? Yes, can later be under better circumstances? Possibly, but in the end of the day, if you begin now, when you reach later, you're going to be in even better circumstances. In the end of the day, the perfect time is now. In many cases, if you're around my age or maybe even a bit older than me, you feel like you've wasted so much time. You feel like you're so behind in where you should be in life. You see your friends that are homeowners and you're not a homeowner yet. You see your friends with a nice car and your car is, what I would call a hoopty. And maybe your situation is a completely different situation than what you have other people in social media and you're seeing other people in social media do. Especially nowadays when you see the iShow Speeds, the Kai Sanats, when you see the all these young people and streamers that are making millions of dollars, and you're older than these people, or maybe you're the same age as these people, or maybe you're just a bit younger than these people and you're not even close to where they're at. When you see these situations, you feel like you're behind in life and you get paralyzed. In many situations, you get stuck analyzing the fact that you're not where they are. So you feel like you've reached nowhere. You feel like you haven't gotten anywhere in your life. What have you done with your life? I love watching Barcelona. I'm a Barcelona fan in soccer. And sometimes I look at Lamine Yamal, a player that's 19 years old? I mean, I'm 25 years old. I'm 6 years older than this kid. Imagine where he's going to be in 6 years. And this kid's making millions of dollars. In the end of the day, when you sit down and analyze things like this, kind of brings an inner paralysis and brings an inner anxiety where you feel like you're just not where you should be in life. The fact of the matter is that life could be chaotic. It isn't an obstacle in the end of the day to surpass when you sit down and realize that there's other people that are further and maybe further in their goals or further in their finances. Every single person's process is completely different. And the fact of the matter is that understanding that life isn't an obstacle to your success, it is the exact training ground that you need to be able to build discipline. There's tons and tons of people that talk about the fact Gary Vaynerchuk is actually one of them that begins to grow in his business and begin to become a millionaire in an older age in his life, age that is less common than what we're seeing out there with streamers and some of these athletes out there that are 18, 19 years old already making millions of dollars. The fact of the matter is that everybody's situation is different. And when the sooner you begin to realize that your life isn't going to be the same as someone else's, the sooner you'll begin to grow with your business. Stop the paralysis and begin to act now. Now is the perfect time for you to accomplish the goals and begin to work on the goals that you want to work on and finish and complete by the next few years. The reality is that what many people don't realize is that the paralysis of inaction has a cost to it as well. The math of doing things later is very much against you than for you. If you wait 2 years for things to calm down before you start, you didn't just lose 2 years of progress. You lost the compounding interest of the skills, of the money, of the connections, of the failures that you will have acquired. Later is the most expensive word that you could possibly use in the entire English language. Later is exactly what's making you lose tons and tons of skills, of investment in yourself, of money. In the end of the day, when you say later, you're saying no now. When you say yes to doing things later on in the future, you're saying no to doing it and reaching your goals now. In the end of the day, saying later is the most expensive thing that you could possibly use, because in the end, later is not now. Later is you delaying the thing that you could be doing now to be able to reach what you want to reach in the future. In many cases, this concept is very difficult because some of the people out there that are hearing this may be a parent like me. Some of the people out there that are sitting thinking about what it is that they can begin to do with the goals that they want to reach. Some of the people out there that want to begin to work on their things don't have the time to, because they have to dedicate time to different things like their family, like their kids, like full-time jobs. And when they sit down and think about it and people depend on them, they can't just quit their job to begin to run a business. But the reality is that what I personally did is I didn't take away time from my family. I didn't take away all the time, at least from my family. I didn't take away time from things that mattered most to me. What I began to do is I began to find time by waking up early, by going to sleep earlier, by working just 1 hour after. Maybe I had to take away time from sitting down and watching TV. And instead of just sitting down and scrolling on a phone or watching TV, then you could sit down and begin to work on your business. 1 hour every day after work, 2-3 hours every day after work, 1 hour, 2 hours every day before work. All these things begin to compound and begin to let you grow that much more. The more time you dedicate to it, the faster it will grow. But of course, if you do have certain responsibilities like a family, like kids, then we don't want to take all that time away. Again, you take it from your sleep, your Netflix time, your weekend relaxing. You have to learn how to execute in the middle of a storm, because the storm never actually stops. In life, if you are at least at a decent maturity level, you'll begin to understand that every single stage of life has a storm. Every single moment in life is going to have moments that suck. As much as I sometimes disagree with some of the philosophy, although I love his work ethic and I love a lot of things he teaches and I follow him at a great amount. And one of the things that I kind of disagree with what Alex Hormozi says is that he talks about how every single moment in life kind of sucks. Whether you fail in life, it's gonna suck, and it's a failure that sucks, or whether you succeed in life, there's a part of that success that's gonna suck. It's gonna be the time that you dedicate to it, the hard work that you put into it. And he talks about how it's better to have life suck and have success than have life suck and have failure. Now, I kind of disagree with the concept that life sucks in general. I do think there are moments that suck, but I don't think that life in general just sucks. I do think that there are concepts of it, of success. There is a price to pay. Of course there is, but it doesn't necessarily mean that every single price that comes out of that is going to suck. Now, again, I understand the concept that Alex Hormozi is getting to, but the reality is that if you sit down and you think about it, when you grow to a certain maturity level, you begin to realize that in the end of the day, every single moment in your life is going to bring a storm. It is going to bring something that to a certain extent sucks. Now, your life doesn't have to suck. That is my whole point of what I was saying about Alex Hormozi, but I agree with him. There are always going to be something that sucks in every single moment of your life. That doesn't mean your whole life is going to suck, but that does mean that in the end of the day, what are you going to do with the storm that is coming next for you? If you're joyful and happy right now, what are you going to do now to prepare for the storm that is coming soon? And if you're in a storm right now, what are you going to do now to prepare for the next moment in life that is coming in your journey? If you sit down and think about it, again, waiting for later is just equivalent to doing nothing now. In the end of the day, waiting for peace, for things to get better, is waiting for yourself to expect for things to always be good, and things are never going to be good. It's never going to be the perfect time. Things are always going to have a rough situation to it, and you need to find joy in the middle of that. And you need to find time to begin to work on your goals in the middle of all of that. And maybe you ask yourself the question, what happens if you start a side hustle today? What happens if you begin to do a business and you fail completely? Maybe you lose some sleep. Maybe you lose a few $100, maybe a K or two. But what happens if you do nothing for the next 5 years? You guarantee a life of financial slavery. You guarantee a life of failing because of the fact that you never started the thing that you wanted to start. In the end of the day, that is a failure as well. Failing is a temporary bruise. Inaction is a terminal disease. And that is the difference between these things. If you sit down and you worry about failing in a business, that is better than never doing anything. Inaction is you staying stuck in the same place and never doing anything about it. Sitting down and realizing that you can fail, but that you'll grow through that failure and that you'll do better through multiple failures or through one failure. When you realize that failing is a part of the process and that inaction is a part of the death that we begin to feel because of the fact that we never did anything, then you'll begin to realize that failure is a much better option than inaction. In the end of the day, I will sit down and I will say it time and time again. If you're waiting for the perfect time, I'm sorry, but now is the perfect time. No matter what your situation is, now is the perfect time. And maybe your situation only allows you to dedicate 30 minutes a day. Dedicate 30 minutes a day. Dedicate the time that you have. And maybe along the way, you'll realize that you don't have 30 minutes. You have an hour, you have two. And maybe you have much more time. But in the end of the day, inaction cannot be the option. You need to begin to take action, to begin to grow, and to begin to work on the things that you want to work on to reach a further level. Drop in the comments below. Today is the time. Drop in the comments below if you're ready to work. Maybe put the hands up emoji, and that way we can begin to identify those people that are ready to work today instead of waiting and doing nothing and expecting something when you, in the end of the day, are doing nothing to go forward. Inaction is a terminal disease. Failure, it's a temporary bruise. And when you get bruises, you learn from them. You begin to realize that maybe I shouldn't run this way, I'll run that way. Maybe I don't ride my bike this way. Here, I'll ride my bike on that street that's safer. In the end of the day, failure leads to growth, and inaction leads to terminal disease, which leads to death. If you are done waiting and starting today, drop that emoji below. Hit subscribe to watch me build in this chaos right alongside you. The chaos that is life. Let's go through this. Let's subscribe, follow, give it a like or comment if you are ready to grow. Again, you can look for more information at santosfinancialstrategy.com. And don't forget that your path to freedom is today. It's not later.